Hulk Hogan was once the biggest superstar in WWE history. Whether you love him or hate him, there is no denying that Hulk Hogan is one of the most recognizable names in the world, and that he is a true icon. But when his sex tape was leaked online, it resulted in losing millions of dollars in endorsement deals. It also shattered his squeaky clean image and ultimately ruined his reputation. The six-time WWE champion has seen better days, as he now finds himself being featured in low-budget wrestling promotions instead of the big stage in WWE. But how did Hulk Hogan go from hero to zero? Let's find out. Number 10. Hulkster's humble beginnings. Terry Gene Bollea, better known by his ring name Hulk Hogan, was born on August 11, 1953 in Augusta, Georgia. Hulkster had humble beginnings and never expected to become a millionaire wrestler and sex symbol at the same time. When he was younger, he played football at Florida's Hillsborough Community College before moving to East Carolina University. He then earned a degree in physical education while competing as a bodybuilder. In fact, he won several bodybuilding competitions like Mr. Haya and Mr. America in the early 1970s. That's why when he got into wrestling, it wasn't really difficult for him to gain success right away. Unlike other wrestlers who have to work their way up through the ranks, the Hulkster was immediately pushed into the main event scene thanks to his good looks and impressive physique. 9. The rise of Hulkamania. 1978. Hulk Hogan made his professional wrestling debut with the World Wrestling Federation, now known as WWE. However, his first run with the company was short-lived as he soon went over to Vince McMahon SRS World Wrestling Federation, where he became a fan favorite. In the early 1980s, Hulk Hogan was still known as just Hulk Hogan. At this time, he began honing his wrestling skills, teaming up with the likes of Grand Wizard, Tony Atlas, and Rocky Johnson. By 1984, the WWF was on its way to becoming a mainstream form of entertainment. With heavy doses of Hulk Hogan's charisma and athleticism, the Hulkster would go on to capture his first WWF championship by defeating Ken Patera in 1988. Too many people a surprise, Hogan turned heel a few months later after he aligned himself with the notorious Senator. Although the villainous turn didn't last long, fans wouldn't see Hogan in the title picture until 1990. After winning the championship again, Hulk Hogan remained in the top of the card for several years, regularly defending his title against some of the biggest stars of the era. Number 8. Hulk Hogan vs. The Ultimate Warrior. One of the best rivalries during the 1990s was between Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. The two faced each other 3 times in major events, with the first encounter taking place at the 1990 SummerSlam. This match is widely regarded as one of the greatest matches in wrestling history. Warrior defeated Hogan to win his first WWF championship thanks to a surprise attack by then WWF CEO Papa Shango. A rematch took place at the following year's SummerSlam, but the result was the same. Even though Hogan dominated most of the match, Warrior managed to defeat Hogan once again. The two finally met in a steel cage match at WrestleMania 6. This time around, Hogan was victorious after hitting the Ultimate Warrior with a surprise low blow. Number 7. Hulk Hogan vs. The Undertaker. Without a doubt, one of the most iconic images in wrestling is the Hulkster slamming The Undertaker on the concrete floor at WrestleMania 5. There's nothing more exciting than watching the seemingly invincible Deadman get thrown around by Hulk Hogan. In reality, though, Hogan actually broke his tailbone during the match. And because of this, he had to be helped by several people backstage to walk. Despite the injury, Hogan returned to face The Undertaker in a rematch the following year at WrestleMania 7. Unfortunately for the Hulkster, he lost the match. 6. Hulk Hogan vs. The $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase was one of the richest men in wrestling. That's why when he challenged Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship back in 1992, it was dubbed the $1 Million Challenge. At the time, Hogan was the top babyface in the company, whereas DiBiase was the No.1 heel. This match, along with the Ultimate Warrior vs. Hogan match earlier in the decade, is considered a classic by critics and fans alike. Unfortunately, the outcome was predetermined. Hogan retained the title after a quick body slam and a leg drop. Number 5. Leaving WWE for WCW. After winning his sixth and final WWE Championship in 1994, Hogan decided to take a break from wrestling. But when his contract with WWE expired in 1993, he left the company for World Championship Wrestling. Fans were shocked to hear that the Hulkster was now a bad guy. Shortly after making the switch, he captured the WCW World Heavyweight Championship from Ric Flair. Throughout his time in WCW, Hogan engaged in multiple high-profile feuds against wrestlers like Sting, Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, and Dennis Rodman. But as WCW began losing ratings and popularity, Hogan began to feel that the company's ship was slowly sinking. So in late 2000, he made the decision to return to WWE. For Hogan's second run in WWE, upon returning to WWE, Hogan was greeted with a hero's welcome. The fans cheered and chanted Hulkamania throughout his first match. As if it was scripted, he wound up defeating the villainous Big Boss Man in just 5 minutes. For the next few years, Hogan remained loyal to WWE, helping to promote several events while also serving as a mentor to young talent. But unfortunately, things would soon go south. 3. The genesis of the sex tape. In October 2006, Gawker Media published a clip of a sex tape featuring Hulk Hogan and the wife of his former friend, Bubba the Love Sponge. The 2-minute clip depicted the 6'7" Hulk Hogan having sex with a woman who was not his wife at the time. In the video, Hogan's face and identity were obscured, but the woman's face was clearly shown, according to reports. The original tape was over 30 minutes long and was recorded without the consent of either Hogan or his partner. While Hogan tried everything in his power to keep the video under wraps, it was already too late. In fact, the lawsuit he filed against Gawker for posting the video led to the site's founder, Nick Denton, claiming that Hogan himself had distributed copies of the tape. After careful consideration, a federal judge ruled that the release of the video was not a violation of privacy law, and Hogan was ordered to pay $110 million in damages. 2. Hulk Hogan's racist remarks. Things went from bad to worse for the Hulkster, when racist text messages he sent to a former WWE writer named Phil Bush were leaked by the National Enquirer. In these messages, Hogan used racial slurs when referring to African Americans had openly expressed his disapproval of interracial relationships. As a result, WWE severed ties with Hogan and erased all references of him from their website. Although the Hulkster apologized and claimed that he was the victim of extortion, the damage had already been done. 1. Hulk Hogan, today. Nowadays, Hogan mostly works as a motivational speaker and runs his own website, which features exclusive merchandise and updates on his life. In recent years, he made guest appearances in Impact Wrestling and appeared in several independent wrestling promotions. But due to his advancing age and health issues, Hogan has largely stayed out of the spotlight. And even though he's been trying to make a comeback ever since his sex tape was leaked, WWE fans are yet to forgive him. Considering what he's been through, it's hard to imagine that the Hulkster will ever return to the squared circle full-time. That's all for today, and please leave your opinions in the comment section. Thanks for watching.